Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to a tutorial video. So, I've been asked by a few people, maybe like honestly 10 people through messages or comments to see how I actually do my entire art process on whatever program I'm using. So none of this is edited. If I fuck up, I fuck up. If I start rambling, well, I start rambling. So I don't know how long this video is going to be. I don't plan on doing a full rendered piece, but I'm going to go through first kind of my window here, my template, my format. So if you can see here, I'm using Adobe Photoshop CS3 Extended. This program came out in 2007, so it's not online. There's no online plugins. It's not a subscription service. It's just good old offline CS3. So as you can see here, here's my entire file setup, image, all this stuff, edit. If you noticed, there's no Photoshop Adobe now has some kind of AI fill-in tool or whatever bullshit for people that can't draw themselves. I'm sure I'm going to offend somebody, and I really don't give a fuck. But yeah, I don't have that here. I actually have to do it all on my own if I want to draw. So if I go over to the left here on my layers, I always start with black and white for two base layers, and gray. If I want to turn that off, because I have no idea. Sometimes if I want to do a darker image, lighter image, whatever, it's just good to have these. This layer 1 here that's blank is where I'm going to actually be drawing, and then I have a gloss and a grain layer. Now if I zoom in a lot, this grain layer, this is what helps give me texture on my images. I'm not sure how well the video quality is going to be. I'm going to try to keep it the highest quality, but you can see the grain layer adds some graininess to it. Depending on what I'm working on, either something more cartoony, I might turn it off. Something more like an actual rendered painting, I'll keep it on. But anyway, let's actually start. So I have my two color swatches, black and white. I'm going to make one of them blue. I'll go with this color blue. And then the other one red. The reason why I do this is I do everything in blue line and red line for my initial sketches. So I'm going to make another layer. I'm going to color this one, right click on it, red, this one blue. And sometimes I don't label these, I just keep it color layered or color coded. But this time I'm going to put lines and lines 2. So now comes the next, the fun part. What to draw. So I've been in kind of a horror movie kick lately. My wife and I have been watching a lot of action movies, martial arts movies, but Halloween's approaching, and I want to get into some creature design stuff. So I want to do something kind of simple. I was playing, what the fuck was it? On a PS2 emulator. Darkwatch, vampire game. So I figured, you know what? Let's do some vampire shit. Some kind of vampire bat creature thing. So, I don't really... Yeah, you know what? I'm going to turn this layer right here just down a little bit. It doesn't need to be so gray, but... Other thing, too, I don't like working against pure white, only for the simple fact that it just burns my eyes. On regular white paper, that's fine, but this is a really bright screen, so I'm going to keep this about right there. NVIDIA app. Yes, no, I don't need that. Thank you. Goodbye. What the fuck? I hope there's no pop-ups. I'm not going to edit that out. Brush tool. Now, we can either use... Here, let me zoom in. I want to show you guys something. For those of you that don't know. There's the pencil tool. If I bring this out a little bit bigger, make sure I'm on the right layer. That's the problem, too. If you don't click on the right layer, you are going to be kind of fucked. So the pencil tool makes these nice hard lines, which if I go in more, leaves a little bit of aliasing. It's that kind of stepladder effect on the side, but the nice thing about it, if you go to your magic wand to select it, it pretty much gets exactly around the edge. So for those of you doing selection stuff with like the magic wand selector, the pencil tool is really good. It makes an exact selection. As opposed to, and hold on, let me control out Z out of these. the brush tool, which is a lot softer. I'm at a, let me see, 100% hardness over here. But if you go to your magic wand, if you can tell, it kind of selects a little bit around the edge of the object. So you're not going to get quite as clean a selection. So I'm actually going to undo that, undo that. For sketching, I don't use the pencil because with the brush tool, I'm going to go to about, I'll keep it 100% hardness. Opacity about maybe somewhere between 25 to 50%. I go about 30%. This is for sketching. This is not for final lines. This is what I mean by sketching. My brush. By the way, I'm using a Wacom Intuos 2, I believe, tablet. So it's not just it's not just making mouse clicks like people assume digital art is. See, this is a mouse click. Look, mouse clicks. That's a mouse click. See how there's no line variation? It's just a straight flat line. No. Let me erase all this shit. That's mouse clicking. This, the brush tool, if you go over, I believe it's here, I have shape dynamics, which means if I go lightly with it, it makes a really thin line, and if I push harder on the tablet, it makes a thicker line. This is how I draw on paper. It kind of recreates that. See? Amazing, isn't it? Yeah, wow. Not just fucking mouse clicks. So, let's get into some actual drawing now. I don't know why I'm so stuffy. I think I have the air conditioner on at like 65 or something. So, I'm going to pull the opacity down a little bit more to maybe like 20%. There we go. Let me zoom out a bit. So, this is my workspace. I use about, I want to say, it's 11 by 15 inches at, I'm guessing, God, what did I set it at? It's like 600 DPI. It's in there somewhere. I'm not going to fuck with it right now because it's going to take too long, this video. I don't know how long it's been already. Maybe a couple minutes. But let's start doing some kind of vampire bat creature. Enough talking. First thing I want to do, check my opacity. Yep, I like that right there. That's good. Let's get the drawing. Make my... Oh, and by the way, the bracket keys on a keyboard makes... Right bracket makes it bigger. Left bracket makes it smaller. I'm always hitting my keyboard as I'm kind of drawing back and forth. That's the only time I use the keyboard is for quick commands. So let's go right about here. And usually what I do when I start drawing something, I start with an eye line. So I want my eye line to be right about there. And go up. Let's see. The middle face line right there. Start to get a skull kind of shape in. I'm just going to do a skull. That's it, basically. Or not a skull, a face. And I'm just kind of drawing away. I think a mouth right about there. I want the mouth open, so I'm going to make a basic shape of an open mouth. Get that right about there. Bottom jaw is going to be there. Kind of coming up. And again, this might all change eventually. Blah, blah, blah. Do a chin. Now what the red line layer is going to be for is stuff I want to put on top of the blue lines that I might want to change that's not attached to this, such as like teeth, blood, any accessories, stuff like that. Let me see. Let's give them some fucking vampire ears that might or might not go off screen. And make them huge. Yeah, why not? So this is all from scratch. I'm not looking at anything or taking inspiration from anything. I guess maybe inspiration from every fucking vampire movie out there. I don't know. A lot of stuff is embedded in our subconscious that we don't think about when we're working on things. And then people make the assumption, oh, you copied this from something. No, it's not that I specifically copied it. It's just that I didn't know, like, oh, shit, that's right. I've had this idea in my head for a while because I watched this movie or played this game. So then people make the assumption you're copying. Kind of like how the Aztecs copied the Egyptians even though they never met, right? Sometimes there's a thing called a collective consciousness, which I'm not going to get into because that's a whole nother fucking subject matter. Start to sound crazy and rambling. All right, so there's a basic shape. Let me move it around a little bit, center it better. You know, I don't even care. I don't know why I'm centering it when this is going to be supposed to be a quick sketch. So, blue line, messy. Doesn't look that great. There's really not a lot of detail, whatever going on. Maybe get some gums here. This is going to sit in like this. It's going to sit right there. Yeah. Now, if I'm happy with this shape, I can keep working with it, or I can kind of change stuff. So this is where I want this eye socket to sit. A lot of it, too, is knowing animal anatomy and human anatomy, which I actually have a degree in anatomy and arts, so it kind of helps. Get a nose here. I know what bats look like. It's funny, for the school I went to, we had to do a project. We had to sculpt a creature, or sculpt ourselves, making a combination of 3 different animals to make a whole new creature. So I chose myself with a bat and a wolf, and suffice to say, it looked exactly like something out of Underworld, and which I love. I actually love the first Underworld movie and the second one, even though the second one's kind of, I think it's underrated, honestly. I think the second Underworld movie is actually pretty good. Plenty of action. It moves at a quick pace. The plot's pretty thin, but to be completely honest, you're not really watching for the plot. I mean, come on. Nobody's really watching Underworld for the fucking plot. All right. So here's a basic shape design, which I can start to work with. This is better than nothing. Better than staring at a blank canvas. Oh, lines too. Now, a lot of people, you switch your layers, but they forget to switch their color palettes. So since I'm on a red layer, I want red. Oops, that's fucking blue. Let me get rid of that. X on the keyboard switches between those two. So right here, hitting X, bam, bam, X. Now, I have red on the right layer. So if I turn this off, I don't have to worry about it being on the same layer as this one. Work your layers. All right, so teeth. Let's see. I want some big-ass teeth. Yeah, why not? It's a vampire. I can't stand vampires with tiny-ass teeth. Let's make them kind of fucked up, too. I want to. You know what? That is the wrong amount of teeth. Because if you count your canines... See? I messed up. One thing AI always does, they don't know how to get teeth and fingers right. So, just 2 teeth in the middle here. You got these kind of on the side. It's going to overlap with this one. And look, at least I got some teeth going. The right amount of fucking teeth. Let's get these to kind of stick out a little bit. Let's get this one up. The other thing, too, is learn perspective. Perspective is a huge thing. It will help make your art not look so flat. Now, I am not an expert on perspective. A lot of my stuff is more kind of straight on. Like, I would consider this a straight on image. There's not crazy perspective shift. I think One Piece anime has a lot of good kind of perspective play going on in that show. I don't really watch it a lot. I'm more of a Vampire Hunter D, Berserk kind of guy. Hey, vampires. But yeah, that's it. That's the first thing I can think of when it comes to perspective is One Piece. A lot of cool perspective play. A lot of anime actually has that. Now, blue line's done. Red line's done. What do I do next? This is where a lot of people, you make a new layer. Let's go to black ink, or call it, well, ink. It's digital inking. They grab a pencil tool. They're going to go at 100% and they start doing this. And it looks like something out of a coloring book. It's flat, the lines have no life to them, and that's just bad. Don't do that. Do not do that. I could have just hit Control-Z a couple times, but whatever. This, I'm going to call, here we go, main lines. And I'm going to color it gray. So I can do one of two things. If I want this to be more of a kind of painted feel, I can use the brush tool, and what I do is I actually go to this color gray right here. Not quite black. I'm going to hit my opacity about maybe 65%. I'm just going to test it to see if I like this opacity. Nah, a little bit too dark. But don't you want it to be dark? Hold on. 40%. Let me erase this. There we go. So I can start to use, well, long stroke hand movements because this is just how I draw. And kind of build up the shape. I do a lot of sketchy style stuff. And now I have a little bit better line control. And if I turn off these layers, yeah, this mess is here, but filter, blur, Gaussian blur, blur it just a little bit at about 2.5 pixels. It gives it kind of a painted, almost something between a pencil and painted look. So that's how I kind of faux pencils, is by doing that technique with Gaussian blur. But let me erase all this again. Go back to my lines. Choose my pencil tool. And I'll show you why in a second I do not just use straight up black lines. Let me go opacity 65%. Oh, turn off auto erase. If you use auto erase, look at that. It chooses both colors here. One line's blue, one line's gray. I don't want that. I just want it to be a normal fucking pencil. So, pencil, auto erase off, and now it's just the color that I have selected on the top here. So, the problem with the pencil tool, well, it's a plus and a minus. I don't know how the other newer Photoshop versions are, but drawing with it, it's very jaggy, which I guess isn't too much of an issue if you're doing stuff like this. And I always still go opacity 65% because I actually like drawing over my lines. And that's the thing. This is part of what is called the art process, which the process literally is art. Art is the process. You don't just type in a bunch of words and click a fucking button, then an image appears. That's not art. This is art. So, this gray line, you know, it's almost like doing pencils over your blue lines if you're a comic artist. However, if you like your gray lines, you can go to Image, Adjustments, Curves, and look at that. You can play with the curves to make them pretty much look like inks, pitch black. About 100 input. And now you have nice dark black lines, but it looks kind of messy still. You have all this kind of stuff going out the side. So I'm going to cancel that. And I'm just going to erase all this and try to do a better job. Now, I can do one of two things here on main lines. I can go to the brush tool. And if this seems like a lot of extra steps to some of you guys, keep in mind, everybody has their own process. Some people, I've seen artists that do the whole, and I know I'm diverging here. They do this. Let me see. They draw a shape out without, oh shit. See, I did it on that layer. Look at that. It's already fucked up. Can I go back? Oh, good. They do this thing where they start messy and it's just this big basic shape, right? Without these lines. And like, okay, now we're going to work from here and start to pull the shape in, which nothing wrong with that. You start with the silhouettes, you know, they do this thing. And then they're like, oh, wow, look, it's coming to life. Now I can see what it's going to be. I don't work that way. I actually like doing the line art first, and I like doing the sketches and everything out so I know what I'm actually working with. I don't even know why I'm still doing that. Jesus, that looks terrible. So my process is a little bit more on the traditional side, like how old school comic book artists and inkers and pencilers kind of work, because that's my background. That's where I kind of come from. A lot of oil painters, they'll do the big splotchy shapes, and by the time they're done, the image, it just looks fucking amazing. So, go to my brush tool. I want to stick at 40%. Let me lower this down a little bit. And I'm going to start basically pretending and penciling out and kind of getting minor details in there. It doesn't matter where you start. Some people start at the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the teeth. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go to this nostril right here and just start to move that in. In fact, I want to lower the opacity on these lines a little bit. It doesn't need to be so dark. 65, 60%. Go back to my main lines. Yeah, just start drawing stuff in. In fact, I can go a little bit darker. Maybe about 60%. There we go. And a little bit too dark. See, I'm always changing. There's that. And I just start drawing things in, and this is going to be the layer that I actually start to work with. So what I do on this layer is where a lot of my minor details are going to start to come in. I'm going to start to draw stuff around, like for example these eyebrow or these furrows around where the eyes are, these little details. Get this eye in. I want to make sure my perspective is also right on the eyes. That's the thing. A lot of people don't make the eyes the same size no matter where they are in the head, and it just doesn't look right. So this is where a lot of my detail work kind of comes in. So that's going to be there. Come in. I skip around a lot too, so you can see, obviously. Get these details in here. What the hell do I talk about while I'm drawing? That's always the hardest part. So yeah, this is just kind of building up the form. I want to get some cheekbones going. So I'm drawing in stuff that I don't have on the blue line here. So this is stuff that I just I wing it, I eyeball it. I kind of know what I'm looking for already. This comes with experience. That's going to come up here. There's going to be these kind of, I want the eyes to be kind of deeper socketed, I'll put the eye right there in the middle. This eye is going to sit a little bit more here, maybe a little pupil, and I'm going to start to add in what's going to look like maybe muscle tissue or whatever, just lines in there. I want the ear to come off of here, obviously. That's where I drew it. Let me see. Where is this earlobe going to start? Let me just get this outside line going. And even though this is kind of sketchy, it's one of those things where if my sketch lines over my blue line is good enough, I'll just keep it. I won't have to worry too much about drawing over it. I'll just paint underneath it instead, which is a different, well, not a different approach technique. It depends. It depends if I like these lines that I'm doing, which in some of my other videos, I've redrawn over the lines I do like this, and in other ones I just kept them because I was like, hey, you know what? They're actually not too bad. Get some little ear detail in there. Oh, where was I? Here we go. Oh yeah, let's get these teeth going. I want them kind of sitting here. What time is it? Maybe this has been half an hour. I don't want this video to be an hour fucking long. So, if you guys like this tutorial, please give a like and subscribe, and I'll take requests. Because the thing about being an artist, I'm still on my own journey too. It doesn't matter if I've been doing this, or if you've been doing this anybody for 20 years, 30 years, 10 years, if you just started, There's still stuff I'm learning. So if any other artists also have techniques or pointers I don't do, I'm willing to try them out. Drawing is actually fun. I love it. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't do it. Why would anyone do something they don't like? I don't get that. You know, a little tough to hair up there. You know, you should always. I sound like fucking Bob Ross now, but horror. You know, here's a happy little vampire. Oh, happy little vampire ears. Let's get the ears going up. But yeah, you should love what you do, especially if it's on your spare time, or if you want to pursue this professionally, or just do it for fun to be creative. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter why you do it. All that matters is that you do it if it's something you enjoy, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Same with people telling you what to draw. Oh my fucking god. Being a horror artist and erotic artist, I have I have dealt with that bullshit my entire life. Why do you have to draw such nasty creatures? Why do all those women, how come they barely have any armor? Why are they showing so much? Oh, why is there so much blood and gore? You know what? It's my art. I don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks. The people that like it, awesome. The people that don't like it, you have the option to not look at it. Just like I don't watch or look at stuff I don't like. Everyone. See, that's the great thing about choice. You can choose what to engage in and what not to engage in. If my art offends you, cool. Great. Don't look at it. If it doesn't, let's talk. Let's have a conversation. You know, go tell me your favorite horror movies. You know, tell me your favorite video games. I think right now mine is what have I been playing lately? I just got done going through the entire Ninja Gaiden series, which I just did a video on. Ninja Gaiden Sigma, Ninja Gaiden 2, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, 4, Ragebound, 3, Razor's Edge. Love them all. Great games. But I'm also not going to pretend like they're all the same quality. It goes for anything. No, I'm talking about video games again. Alright. So you can see here, I am adding in these little details, blah, blah, blah. Let's get some lips in here. And I think the last thing I'll do before I finish this video out is, let's see, so these are skin lines. These are kind of also directional lines. Oh my god, I just realized subconsciously what I ended up drawing, what it looks like. I didn't even mean it to be this. I don't know if anyone else caught on to it. If anybody ever read Weekly World News, there was this thing called Bat Boy, and his article, Bat Boy found in cave. It kind of, oh shit. It kind of looks like Bat Boy. Wow, but a meaner version. Oh my god. Once I get to a point where I don't need the blue lines or the red lines, I'll just turn them off. I don't get rid of them though. I'll keep them. That's why this is where artists say like, oh my god, this one little drawing has like 500 layers. Yeah, there's all the line layers. So, let's go here, turn off the gloss. The gloss also, what it does, here, I'll show you really quick. So, if I want to keep these lines, I'm going to do a duplicate layer. And what it does, not necessarily makes it darker, but it makes this part here, like these lines, less opaque see-through. So here's the copy layer. Let me just turn this off. Let me go to, I'm sorry if I say a lot, my curves. See, even with the line, even trying to make the lines as black as possible, they're not super dark. They're not black. I'm going to make a copy of a copy, duplicate this layer. I'm going to merge these two down, merge down. So now this is a nice thick lines. It should be at almost like if I drew at 100%. Image adjustments, curves. Fuck, I almost forgot. Let's go to going past like 115 or so, and then bringing this up. You start to lose. I can't tell on here, but you lose detail. So I only go until, bam, right there. It's kind of like in setting brightness in the game. You know, set this until you can't see the logo anymore, and then you're like, shit, I can't see fucking anything. Do it until the lines are as dark as you want them to be. So, good black lines. Now, I can keep this or I can get rid of it. It depends what style I want to do next. That's the whole thing. The biggest thing is, if I want to go comic book style, let me go here, grab my what is it? The lasso tool. This is going to be quick. So if it's messy, it's messy. I draw with the lasso tool, so there's some shading here. Bam, do this. Oh, let me reach around. Hold the shift key. Get some shadow working here. Trace this around under the ears. Again, I'm doing this as fast as possible. I'm not trying to be neat, as you can see. I still have to know how light sits and how the shadows sit. So, again, this isn't just clicking random things. I'm still actually fucking drawing. I'm not just hitting shit with a fucking mouse. I go there. There's some shadow there. Click that. Under the mouth. Get some little shading parts. Okay. This might take a while. Hopefully not. Some shadow work. Get this. These are little zigzags I'm doing. Get that in here. This is if I'm going to do comic book style. Remember, this is what I'm saying. Lock these out. Do this. That should be good enough. Maybe get a couple little things in here. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. More shadow, more little highlight shadow spots. Okay, so you see those little ants moving around? Those are basic shadows. I'm going to go to black now. Hit my paint bucket, and there we go. Look at that. Now I have some basic shadows going on. Then I can grab this, go on this top layer, make a new layer. So I have a shadow layer turned on and off. Here's main lines. Now, let's put the opacity to 100%. Go small. I'm not going to do the entire thing because this is going to take way too fucking long. So, cross-hatching for that comic book look. Zoom in about 100% and start to do this. Make these cross-hatch lines. Come in here. You guys can see this. Bam. Go with the shape of the body. That's the thing with cross-hatching, which I also have a video tutorial on. When you're doing cross-hatching, don't just start here. Don't just do this shit. Like this is nothing. That I don't know what this is. If you want to do that in the ears, for example, let me zoom in a bit. It takes some time. And I'm going super fast with my pen tablet. Just do this. Come up a little bit. You don't have to be perfectly fine. Here's a trick with cross-hatching. I was talking to somebody earlier today, and they said cross-hatching, man, it takes so long because you're trying to be accurate and trying to make sure all those lines are in a perfect place. Here's the thing. I'm going fast as fuck. I'm not trying to be accurate. I'm just trying to get this shadow kind of shape in. Go here. Put that there. Go to this ear. I think you guys kind of get the point. So anyway. Oh, here, you know what? Here's some. I'll do it. The comic book forehead cross-hatching. They always do these lines across, and you follow this, you follow this. You know, the obligatory line across the head. Wolverine pose. Get these in here. Cross-hatching is where there would be lighter areas of shadow and not such darker areas of shadow. There you go. Look, see? There's some basic cross-hatching. You can put some coming down here. That's if I want to do comic book style. Again, work on like the tongue area, the teeth, get some shape lines. Don't overdo it. That's if I'm doing comic style. Why did I do that? This is if I'm doing comic style rendering, drawing. So let me turn this off now. Let me go to my regular mainline copy. Uh-oh, look how light that is. What a difference compared to this. So for this one now, if I want to do a painted style, I'm going to pick black and white. Here's where it gets kind of tricky. I'm going to go beneath my main lines, so whatever this one is, make 2 layers. 1 layer, 2 layers. This layer right here, I'm going to call shadows. This layer here, I'm going to call highlights. Let me make this gray, also make this gray. So the shadow layer, I'm going to get my brush. I can turn this mainline copies on, but I'm going to turn the opacity down so it's just a little bit darker. I don't need it to be as dark as it is, but better than that. So go to shadows, go to my brush tool. I usually work at about, I want to say somewhere between 30 to 60% hardness. Let's go 50. Oh, don't blip at me. Come on. I'm going to test it out. Oh, that's right. Oops. The opacity. See? I'm going to set my opacity to about 20%. That's good. Yeah, I like that. 20%. I wanted... Oh, that's the eraser. Ha ha ha. This, a little bit softer. Maybe 35%. Perfect. That's where I want to be. Go to highlights. And I'll change it afterwards. But let's start with the shadows. So, start doing this around the eyes over here. Make it a little bit bigger. Digital painting takes a bit longer, but that's just the nature of it. It still is quicker than painting traditionally. So some people say, "Oh, digital art, it doesn't take any talent." Yeah, right. Yeah, because I don't still need to know lighting and shading and how anatomy, perspective, and lighting works. Anyway, darken this area around the eyes, nose here, darken this, under the ears. This is going to be a nice little dark area here. It's going to be nice and almost completely in shadow. Build it up. Don't skip steps. Some people start dark, some people start light. It just depends. This is also why I keep this gray area, this gray layer. Fuck, I almost forgot what I was saying. As opposed to white, because look at that. Can't tell what I'm doing. Keep it gray. Oh, wait, not on that layer. Shit. See? Forgot to go to my shadow layer. Anyway, go up here. I'm not going to worry about little details yet. You can. Start to do this. So what I'll do then, and I want to try to hurry this up. I'm only going to work around this kind of face-eye area. I'm not going to worry about the teeth or mouth. So I got a nice little kind of shadowy area going on. I'm overworking. As an artist, it's really hard to tell yourself to stop. It really is sometimes. Okay. Switch over to white. Go to my highlights. Start putting highlights in, maybe at the top of the head a little bit. Now, this is going to be too much. I want to build it up more. So I'm going to go 10%. Start to build the highlights around here. You can see it builds up slowly. And And I'm just going to barely just kind of tap my pen against the tablet and get these kind of highlights kind of coming into this area here. And now, oh, look at that. I've got some highlight buildup. Now, of course, I would actually shade the whole thing first. That's what I would do. Get some shading done. And find out where I want my light source to be. In this case, because I'm putting highlights on the top of the head, my light's going to be coming from up here. Ah, let there be light. Yeah, sun rays. If you can see that. Put a little bit more highlight. But you guys kind of get the point. So, and then what I would do is, once the whole thing's kind of painted out, once I have the grayscale down, the whole painting's done, nice creepy vampire eyes. I want to make sure you guys really can tell what I'm doing. So, get some highlights up here on the top of the nose. I would make another highlight layer, layer 2, and I would use that for finer, smaller details like eye shine, skin shine, like if skin's wet. Or I would make another, whatchamacallit, shadow layer 2 if I want to add in like some like deeper, darker shadows. But like you can see, I'm just tapping my pen tool to give it texture, because living creatures do not have smooth surfaces. Skin's bumpy, which is where the grain comes in. See the difference? No grain, grain. No gloss, gloss. Gives that a kind of 70s horror feel a little bit. Now, I want to wrap this video up. Once this is painted out, turn that mainline copy off. I'm going to go to my main lines. I might image adjustments, curves, darken these just a little bit. Not too much. 30, about there. Now, I would draw over them, and I would take an eraser tool and like shit like this over here. Takes 2 seconds. Don't be lazy. Go over. Just erase these little extra spots. I would just kind of look around. Oh, like this. Like, okay. But if there's going to be hair up here, I would do hair on a separate layer. I'm just smoothing out the line. Or you can just draw new lines over it. It depends. You don't, again, everyone's got a different way they do things. If my rough lines are good enough already, where I'm like, I don't really need to redraw them, but they could be cleaned up a bit, that's what I'll do. If they're completely fucked, I would just go in and redraw all the lines, because honestly, it doesn't take that long, and putting a little bit of effort in does make the image look better. So now, I got those, filter, blur, go to my Gaussian blur, and now it's starting to look like a pencil drawing with that blur. It's not so sharp. I don't like sharp lines for painted images. So this is the painted version. Now, here's a neat thing. Let me turn these lines off. If I turn on this mainline copy, that shaded part, and these details, I can use this same technique of painting underneath my comic style digital inks over here. It depends if I want to use digital inks or if I want it to be completely painted rendered. It's up to you. Again, I've got 2 styles I work in. The digital inking style, which, there we go, looks like that with the painted underneath it. Now, if I'm going to be doing digital inking with paints underneath, I might actually start doing color flats first. Like, I'll, select this entire thing and make it, I don't know, fucking brown or red or blue, whatever flat I want it to be in for whatever mood I'm trying to convey. But if I'm doing a more painted version, I always start painting in grayscale. And even with the color flats, I'll set the color flat here. Let me see if I can't show an example really quick. Shit. I said blue. I'll go to blue. And I'll do it on top of everything. Why not? Let's go. You know what? Let me just trace around this really quick. I don't even care how much I do. Mostly the part that I painted, so you can see. All right, there's that. Let's blue. Oh no, he's completely blued out. He blew his brains out. No. So, my go-to is Vivid Light at like 20%. That's a baseline. Maybe 11%. See? That's a basic baseline, and then I'll do another layer on top of this. Man, I'm even going into color. Let me get some red. Some red here, yeah. Let me get a little bit darker red. Get my brush tool. Opacity is at 10%. Let's say 20%. Hardness. Fuck it, no hardness. Open this up and start to work around the eyes. Put this here. Splotch it up a little bit. Now this is still on normal, alright? I expect it to kind of cover everything. And really what I should do, let me move this color layer beneath my black inks. Same with this one, beneath that. I would actually turn them off when I do my coloring, so I turn off that and the details. And just color away. Oh my god, have fun coloring. Really get this just as red as possible here. And then maybe either overlay or soft light. You know what? I like overlay, and I can bring it down to like 75%. And if there's too much red, go to my eraser, bring the opacity like 20%, bring this hardness down all the way, and just start to let's see, pull it out a little bit. There we go. Look at that. Now it's not so red over here now. But yeah, that's pretty much how I approach everything I do. Whether it's going to be again comic style or painted, whatever digital painting style. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I have rambled on for long enough. Hopefully it's comprehensive enough to start. I will do some more tutorial videos by request. Let me know what you guys want to see. Drawing hands seems to be a big thing. Drawing feet. A lot of people have problems with feet. I don't mind going over feet, but I'm not going to do it for you fuckers with a foot fetish. That's not why I'm going to draw feet. Unless you really have a foot fetish. Then I'll show you how to draw feet for foot fetish art. Just, I don't know. It's 3:22 in the morning. Holy shit. I'm going to get going. Let me know what you want to see in the comments. Please comment. Please like. Please subscribe. And I'm working on new artwork for a couple games coming out. And my band's new album we're working on. Some album covers and some other things that I have projects for coming out in the near future that I've got art already set up for. Anyway, thank you very much. Stick around for the next one. And I'm just rambling right now. You know what? I am going to go on and play some fucking Crimson Desert. Take it easy, guys.